Namaskar. Dear devotees and friends, we'll be reading from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. I call it Panchama Veda, from page 811, Bengali page 870. Let us begin with this stotra. Tavo kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhirilitam kalmashapaham shravana mangalam srimadatam bhuvi grinanti e bhurida janaha. This is the unique scripture, this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. We call it Kathamrita. Katha Roop Amrit. Amrit means, the Bengali pronunciation Amrita, and in Sanskrit and Hindi they say Amrit. The Amrit means nectar. The nectar is that which gives us eternal life. It's not something like a medicine, something liquid that we drink and then this particular body that continues for a long period of time. No, that is not. There's some conception they think in that way, but it is they go beyond the circle of birth and death. And they always, these people who get liberation, they always live in the hearts of millions and millions of people, to the whole posterity. That is the nectar or the Amrit. How that is possible to go beyond this circle of birth and death? That we, the teaching, or we call it Sadhu Sangha, holy company, from there we learn the technique and then we ourselves proceeds to that, those who are interested. So here in the Gospel, that last Wednesday, we have discussed that Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna never wanted his disciples to bring someone to him forcefully. This forcefully means those who are not having the samskara, in Sanskrit we call it samskara, or as in the Hindus they always believe the karma phalabhada, that is the result of the karma. And whatever we are doing, the karma, the action that we are taking through our physical action, the words and also the thought, all these is creating the result. And that is very subtle. But the accounting is very perfect. If you do good work, praying for others, sympathizing others, helping others, you will get the credit. And if you do the opposite, creating disturbances, cheating people, and your credit will be debited. So that balance, I don't know who keeps, but very perfect. And that carries when we die, only our physical body that we leave. But we go on and we take another body, again we survive, again we do that. So the karma phala goes on and on. Shanchit, prarabdha, like this, they say that you have to, like this moment, right this moment when whatever we are doing, it's called prarabdha. That there are three bags. So one is the prarabdha, purve arabdha. In our last birth, whatever we have acquired, we are carrying that bag. And sometimes I jokingly say that we have to travel light. When you die, no, nothing, we are not carrying anything. So that is called Jivana Mukta or the Krama Mukti. After the death, we are not going to the body. How it is? Because we don't have any desire. The Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he was talking about that in the last in the Wednesday we have discussed about that. Today we will listen from him the two very important truths that he is teaching us. One is perfect jnana and perfect bhakti are the same. Mostly the jnana bhakti. Both the paths are valid paths, and Hindus, they accept that, Hindus, they believe that the jnana and bhakti, but at the same time they are always core that the bhakti means the devotion and jnana means knowledge, and they are two different paths. But Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna very categorically, he mentioned that perfect jnana. What is this perfect jnana? Some conception, some idea, that is also jnana, but they do not understand clearly. Perfect bhakti also. Sometimes some people, they will be worshipping their own, that a particular, that a chosen ideal, and they will say this is the perfect, perfect for him, perfect for her, no doubt at all. This is the secret of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna's philosophy, Samannaya Vada. He brings everyone together, all paths, all faith, all belief, all caste, all are coming and going towards the same goal. The parliament of religion that we talk about, what is this parliament of religion? That all religions should become one, mingle with one? No. Religion means complete freedom. I have every right to practice my own and then reach to my own goal according to my conception. But at the same time, I appreciate others also who are trying to in their different paths. So that is the way Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is teaching. Bhakti, if you are perfect in that, and you will see the God in every being, as in the Bhagavad Gita also says. We will come to that. Here we were reading that car festival at Balaram's house, that is the heading the Master Mahashaya has given. And Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, after all that program, the function and the dances and the bhajan and the prasad, all these things, now he was talking about the Narendra. Narendra is a very big receptacle, one that can hold many things. He is like a bamboo with a big hollow space inside. Those who are from the villages, they will understand this. The majority of the people in the cities and the modern day cities, they have not seen the bamboo at all. There are varieties of bamboo trees are there. Some of the bamboos are very big, and particularly the pop is a big one, and villagers, they keep not only water but also rice and many other things that they use as an utensils. It is a very wonderful container. Giving that example as because he is from the village, so he is giving that example that he is a big receptacle, like he is like a bamboo with a big hollow. Narendra is not under the control of anything. The Narendra means afterwards the famous Swami Vivekananda. He is not under the control of anything. What is that anything? Desire. The desire actually makes us slaves. When I have a desire, that makes me slave. That is why the complete freedom, the Swami Vivekananda, in two different ways he said, freedom, freedom, freedom. Freedom is the first condition of growth. Unless and until a person is having the complete freedom, he won't be able to grow. And in our society, there is no chances. The society will constantly dictate you what you should eat, what you should wear, whom you should have the friendship, and whom you are going to marry. Everything the society will dictate. That's why we could not develop. But in the religion, complete freedom. Whether you follow the path of jnana and deny the existence of God also, no problem. So that way, the Hinduism, it developed very strong and all-pervasive. Sometimes some people, they don't understand. They compare with other people. They say, look at them, they're all same. and someone from some place, they will say, hey, today is this, everybody should kneel down, and all over the world people are kneeling down. It is an army, military thing, that is okay. But it is the religion, it is my choice. Whether I will get up in the morning or in the dead night, or I will pray with Sanskrit or in my mother tongue, everything my choice. That is why the Hinduism grew so much. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Freedom is the first condition of growth, that Narendra said. And here, when he was a young boy of 18, 19 years, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, Narendra is not under the control of anything. He is not under the control of attachment or sense pleasures. He is like, he was going on mentioning about the Narendra. He was not having any body consciousness at all. So about the Narendra, his brother also wrote a very wonderful book. It is in Bengali, maybe, I don't know, that Mary Louise Burke, the researcher on Swami Vivekananda, she was going through that book. I was helping her, and long back in 70s, 80s, and she was having some information from that book. His brother, Bhupendranath, he was all the different wonderful, very interesting incidents he gave over there. And he was reading. When he is reading something, he will forget everything. When he is singing, he will forget everything. When he is meditating, he will forget everything. His mind was so pure. Why we can't meditate? Because so many thoughts are there, jumbled up. And the moment we seek to control our mind, it rebels. It goes to east and west and south and everywhere. And after the meditation, when we get up, we are exhausted. Because of tiredness, the mind becomes tired. And what is that purity? No thought in the mind. Once I say this is the thought I like to think, mind should follow that. But now we are the slaves of our own mind. We think we are the master. My mind, we say. And I like Rabindra Sangeet, I like classical. We think we are dictating, not at all. Mind is dictating us. So we have to reverse it. And that is called meditation, that is called sadhana, that is called tapasya, that is called spiritual austerity. The spiritual austerity has nothing to do with growing the beard or growing the nails and standing on one feet. It has nothing to do with that. It is mental strength. And if you are the master, the controller, the conqueror of your own mind, Bhagavan Buddha said, he is the conqueror, he is the hero. So you have to, the Narendra was having that when he was very young. Obviously, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna was very happy. If you, that he was talking about 8 o'clock in the morning, Mahendra Mukherjee arrived and saluted Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. Haripada, Tulsi Ram, and other devotees arrived one by one and saluted him. Balaram was laid up with fever and couldn't come. Baburam. Baburam couldn't come. So that he was thinking in this way. You can come. So Sri Ramakrishna said to others, hasn't the younger Naren come? Perhaps he thought I had left. He was talking that the younger Naren. So there were, the Naren means our Narendranath, who became the Swami Vivekananda. And the younger Naren, that he was also there, Master Mahasaya mentioning about him. So perhaps he thought I had left. So we can understand how Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is slowly spreading the message, his own message. Whenever he will go to the city, Calcutta, he used to live in Dakshineswar, a little away from, then Calcutta was a small city. Now it is a very big, huge. So he used to live in the Dakshinesha, the other side of the other bank of the Ganga. He used to come to Calcutta, and whenever he will go to any devotee's house, he will send the message to everyone so that they will come, he will meet to them, and he will talk to them. He will inspire them to practice, to follow the spirituality. So he was talking. How amazing! Even during his boyhood, on returning from school, he cried for God. Is it a small thing to cry for God? Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning in one place when someone was telling how to get rid of this suffering, he said, can you cry? Cry for God. We cry for so many things. For little thing, immediately we'll cry. But can you cry for God? I have heard, I don't know, this is a long back here in America, one of our Swamiji, he was talking in that way. Then a lady said, crying it is so easy. I can do that. And the Swami told, if you can cry for God for 24 hours, you will realize God. So she took up the challenge, and then after returning, he closed her door and started crying to practice 24 hours cry for God. And next day, and they are truthful, so came back that American lady to the Swami and told, you know what, I couldn't cry more than 15 minutes. I thought I can cry. But no, when I was thinking about God and I was trying to cry, and not a drop of water came from my eyes. That is the sadhana. Why we can't? Because we don't love. And when we love something, and very dearly we love, then only when we are missing Him, the God, we can cry. Oh, I'm missing my God. But we don't love that much. And God is there, we believe, because from the childhood days we are listening, so that way we believe. And it is a sort of a extra protection. We have protections, the social security and all those things are there. At the same time, God is also there for the extra protection. But no, it is not like that. It is if I can't realize God, I am going to die. That hankering, that urge, as Jesus, he was teaching one person who was asking him how much the prayer I should do and how I will realize God. The Jesus was bathing at that time. That man, he called the man to that water and asked him to take a dip. The moment he was underwater, he held his head. And after a long period of time, when he was almost dying, and then he left him. How you were hankering for the breathe. Oh my God, I was dying. That is the way you have to cry for God. You have to urge for God. That urging should be there. The younger Naren went to Nabagopal's house when a kirtan was going on. The Girish Ghosh was mentioning about him. And on entering the house, he was inquiring about you, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. And where is he? He was not even looking at anyone. He was searching but Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. Mukherjee said, Hari became simply speechless at what you said yesterday. He said to me, this Hari afterwards, he became a monastic, direct disciple of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, a very famous monk of the Ramakrishna order, Swami Turiyanandaji. He followed the path of knowledge all through his life. And he was not attending the classes or the discourses or the company of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna in the beginning, thinking that they are talking about the dualistic God and I follow the path of knowledge. It will be a wastage of time if I go over there. And today, one gentleman, Mr. Mukherjee, he is reporting that the Hari became simply speechless at what you said yesterday. He said to me, such wisdom can be found only in the philosophical systems of Samkhya, Yoga and Vedanta. He is no ordinary person. Now this Hari, the young man, so he used to read the Samkhya, Vedanta and the yoga. So he was mentioning in that way. But Sri Ramakrishna said, but I had never studied Samkhya and Vedanta. Friends, you know, most of you, there are 6 systems of Indian philosophy. And of the 6 systems, these are the 3 mentioned over here. The Vaishashikya and Nyaya and all that are there. So these 6 systems of Indian philosophy, 6 different ways they are trying to give us the explanation of the truth. And what is the truth? Creator. Who is the creator of this creation? That is the unique question always they will be trying to explain. And different way they will be. Kanada, another rishi, he was explaining in that it is the minutest atoms that has created everything. The science nowadays discussing about that. So that is the way, but the Vedanta, ultimately they say, it is the consciousness that reflects, it is not original. And there are other schools are there, they will be saying, like the school of Ramanuja, Madhvacharya, they will be saying, no, we are completely different from God. And all these Abrahamic religions, they follow the path of dualistic way. So they don't say in the way that we talk in our philosophy, but same, dualistic. But Shankaracharya, the Adi Shankaracharya, he came and explained the same thing in a completely monistic way. And he said, it is a reflection, it is not the real thing. If it is a real transformation, like the milk is becoming the yogurt or the curd as we call, then there is no chance to go back to the original form. A curd or an yogurt cannot go back to the milk form. Similarly, if it is complete difference, complete separation from God, then one can never go back to God. And on that argument only, Advaita Vedanta, awe means negative. The awe, the negation, they say it is not two, it is only one. Then how come there's so many people, so many things, so many that the creation? Then it says it is actually the reflection. The God is creating himself in that fashion, in that manner. So here Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said, but I have never studied Samkhya or Vedanta. Then he said, perfect jnana and perfect bhakti are one and the same thing. Perfect jnana and the perfect bhakti are one and the same thing. When you talk about the jnana, the knowledge, what is this knowledge? Knowledge of one. What is that one? The creator. If the creator is one, then the creation that coming out of it should be the same. Here they say, suppose it is like the sun reflecting on the different pots. Hundreds of pots are there full of water, and the same sun is reflecting on that water. Many a times we give this example. The classical way they always try to explain, because it is very difficult to understand all-pervading consciousness. So they give the example of the sun reflecting on the water, and water is becoming warm. Not only that, the reflection, the reflected sun is so bright, your eyes will dazzle. You won't be able to look at that. Just like the ordinary original sun. When you are looking at the original sun, when there is clear sky, it is very difficult to look at the sun. Without the glasses and all that, you won't be able to look at the sun. So same way, we see the same sun reflected on the water, and that glittering, that there, and effulgence is there, power of the that sun is also there, the water is becoming warm. And sometimes as the younger children in the villages, they will be using a broken piece of a mirror, and they will point that the reflection on the corner of a paper and they'll light the fire. Everything is possible with the reflection. If that is so, think of when the God is reflecting on our intellect, and naturally that intellect, that buddhi can do anything. The more the manifestation of that, the more powerful you are. And that is called, that knowledge, that realization, that clear understanding, that feeling is called Jnana Marga. And what is bhakti? Here they think that whenever we look around, we see somebody is there. In the family, father is the head of the family, and whatever he says, everything is done by accordingly. And we look at the society, king is the head of the society, of the country. Whatever he says, that is the law. And like that, there is a ruler, someone taking care of us. So there must be someone who has created. From that conception, they think of God. The God has created, and God will punish us if we are not listening to His words, and God will give us reward if we are following Him. So this is the way the duality works. But in the Bhagavad Gita, where the Lord Krishna, the many people, they worship Him as their God, as a chosen idol, but He says, Nadatte kasyachit papam, nachaiva sukritam vibuhu. It is your karma phala. I don't do anything. I am not giving you any blessings or cursing, nothing I do. So the Jagannatha Murti, the image of the Jagannatha, Lord Jagannath, all Hindus will bow down the moment you utter the name Jagannatha Mahaprabhu. Why? Because He is the ruler of the whole universe, Jagatnatha. But the Jagannatha is not having the eyelid. Why? Because He is the Shakshi. He never closes His eyes. He observes. But He is not having any hands, not having any feet, because He doesn't need to have those. He is everywhere. What He is going to do with His legs? He can do anything just by wish. Hands are not necessary to work. So these are the symbolic way Jagannatha Mahaprabhu. Here that is the one who is somewhere there, and then we say He is our father, He is our mother, and they develop a relation. In the bhakti, it is very easy because we are growing up into that. Nama, Rupa, name and form. If there is there, it is so easy for us to understand. And obviously, when there is a God who has a name, who has a form, and we can talk to that God. We can cook food for that God. We can decorate that God. We can pray to that God. So obviously, it is so easy for us. So Bhakti Marg is really unique. But when we reach to the perfection of the Bhakti, all these way, all these the practices, He was separate, God was separate, I was separate. But the ultimate what He sees the God and He are one. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is mentioning, a man reasons saying, not this, not this. He rejects the unreal. When his reasoning comes to an end, he attains the knowledge of Brahman. When he is reasoning, he is going on, this is not, this is not, this is not, this is not Chaitanya, this is not the consciousness. But when it ends, then only the knowledge comes. Now when we say how they do the reason, first is this body. Am I the body? They will be always asking, who am I? Those who are following the path of jnana, the first thing they always ask, who am I? And those who are following the path of bhakti, they ask, who is God? So who am I? Because I am subjective. I am researching on myself. So who am I? Am I this body? If I am thinking that I am the body, then which body? When I was a small little kid, that body, or when I was a young man, that body, or the present body which has grown up. Body is changing. Which body you meant for but that this is the I? See, if we think in this way, we will wonder, we put our finger on this body and say I, but which actually, which I? Mind, constantly changing. Which mind then? So this is the way we have to think, and they say when the river is flowing, if you take little water from the river and say this water, and then next time you are picking up, it is not the same water. It is already, so much of water has already flown. So obviously same way every time everything is changing, and that which is changing cannot be I, the perfect one. The one which is always stationary, which never changes, never moves, abhaya, akshara, like that. And then they say abhyakta. You cannot explain it. Why? Because you are that. How can you explain yourself? Oh, I am the son of so and so, I was born on that, this is my date of birth. That way you can give the hint. But truly, can you say, this is me? None of us. That is the way they always discuss, and then ultimately they realize it is the consciousness which is actually continuing and continuing in different names, different forms. Maybe Bhagavan Buddha could remember 500 of his births. Swami Vivekananda also mentioned the one who could remember the 500 times of his birth. He was a pigeon, he was a lion, he was an elephant, and he was a son of an ordinary person. He was the son of a king. Like that, 500 lives he could remember, Bhagavan Buddha. So obviously, whether we say we don't believe, we don't like, it doesn't matter. This is the truth. And that truth, keeping in mind, if I say, I am not the body, I am not the mind, then who am I? Neti, 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 not this, not this, not this. And when we reach to that, and that is ananda, that is the bliss, that is the joy, that is the happiness, and unspeakable. You cannot express it at all. That's so much of joy. There's someone, with the moment they discover, the great joy will be jumping. Eureka, 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 that the scientist he mentioned. And similarly, the Rishi said that I am that, I am that, I am that. That this is the way if we are analyzing. This is called knowledge. You know that when we are trying to understand this Brahman. Now what is this Brahman? Mahanirvan Tantra. They are giving an idea about the Brahman. You know that the 5 great dictums, they give some idea. So that is about Brahman, idea. This is Brahman, you cannot say like that. The moment we say this is Brahman or this is God, it becomes limited, it becomes finite. So it is God can never become finite, it is always infinite. The Brahman can never become finite. So we give the hint only. So how they are giving the hint? Yato Vishyam Samudbhutam. From where this world came out. From where this creation. Ena Yatancha Tishtati. After the creation, it is surviving on that. Yashmin Sarvani Liyante. Then again in the dissolution, everything goes back into that. Giyam Tad Brahma Lakshanaihi. Giyam Tad Brahma, and they stopped, no. Lakshana. Lakshana means that is the symbol of Brahman. Look at it. So perfect wordings they are using. It's not only emotion, is clear understanding, very clear understanding. And that if the moment I say this is Brahman, immediately I am making a philosophical mistake. What is that philosophical mistake? I am limiting the unlimited one. The moment something becomes limited, it is going to be destroyed today or tomorrow. They will never say that. And they say this is the Lakshana. Lakshana means that is the symbols. By seeing this, by understanding this, you can understand, oh, something created out of nothing. No, it cannot be. There must be something from which something has come up. What is that? And then that is surviving. There must be something which is holding. And then again it is going back. Where it is going? From where it came, where it was leaving, and after the death, where it goes back. There must be something, the source, which is having this. Now, if we ask where from these clouds came, the vapor, so from the water, vaporized, became the clouds, and again as a rain, as a water, it came back to the ocean, to the source. So this is the circle. And when it was taking the form of the vapor or the cloud, completely different from the water, as if. And then it was flying. Water is there and on the earth, but it is on the sky, it is flying. And then again it came back as a water and mixed in the ocean. The creation is just like that. From the creator, then as if it is separated, and then it is traveling here and there, then it come back to the source. So what is religious life? All these discourses, all these monks, these nuns, these temples and the mosques and the synagogues, the churches, and why all this? Only to understand this, to go back to the source. In between, not understanding what is the source, we create problem. Why? Because our ego. I thought this is the right path and I go out to convert the whole world. Sometimes I will say, hey, whatever I am following, you must follow. And if I don't follow, then I will kill you. So that is the way all created this. The religion has nothing to do with all this. All religion is talking about the peace only. But the person who is thinking that he is spreading the religion, if he is completely religious, not only that, his understanding is completely zero about God, and he takes up the responsibility to spread the religion, religion is criticized. And whatever we see, the religion is creating problem, it's not religion. It's the person who is misutilizing religion because he misunderstood it, because he is using religion for his own power. So what is religion? Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna said that you have to be happy. How you can become happy? Here you find Sattameva Vratam Yasya Daya Dineshu Sarvata Kama Krodho Bashe Yasya Tena Loka Trayam Jitam. Who is a spiritual person? Now, who is spreading the religion? A spiritual person. And who is a spiritual person? How you will understand that he is a spiritual person? These are the qualities. Then we find very clearly Sattameva Vratam Yasya. He is always truthful. It is his brata. It is his promise. It is his practice. What is that? Truthfulness. Satyameva Vratam Yasya. He is always truthful. Daya Dineshu Sarvata. And everywhere, for everyone, wherever there is a suffering, he will try to, is a compassionate, is a kind-hearted person. He will try to remove that suffering, whoever it may be, whether his followers, whether he is his critics, his enemies, it doesn't matter. For a religious person, there is no friend or foe. You understand? That is the uniqueness of religion. What we see religion and what we misunderstand religion, some people, in the Mahabharata they said, dharma vyapari. Vyapara means business. Right from the beginning, these dharma vyaparis, they use this religion sometimes to capture the land, sometimes to get money, sometimes to get the name and fame and appreciation, respect, dharma vyapari. But actual dharmic, a religious person, how he will be? It says in beautifully, it mentions, Sattvameva vratam yasya. The one who is practicing truth, it never says lies. Daya dineshu sarvata kama krodha. Kama is a desire, krodha, anger. So these two words goes together. Why? They are the same. So when there is a kama, when there is a desire, an unsatisfied desire turn into krodha, in anger. The people, when they are angry, they say how to remove the anger. You have to reduce your desire. How to reduce the anger means any anger in any form. If you analyze, you will find that at the back of it, somewhere you had a desire. You want to control, you want to grab, you want to have everything of your own. And by that way, when the moment you see something even little is going away, immediately you become angry. Your anger means your desire, dissatisfied desire, unsatisfied desire. So kama and krodha, upwards and reverse of the same coin. This kama and krodha, bhashe yasya, when you are controlling that, the one who could control the desire can control the kama, krodha. Tina, that person, lokatrayam jitam, he has conquered all the three worlds. What are all the three worlds? Swarga, Marta, Patala. The heaven, the earth, and the nether world. So that is called a religious person. And in Panchadashi also, they say how to overcome the desire, how to overcome the anger. Panchadashi is a very famous, the Advaita book. But the Vedanta, those who are studying Vedanta, they always read Panchadashi. So this Panchadashi says, Kamadi dosha drishtyadya. Now we have to overcome desire. And when we can overcome desire, then automatically our anger will also go. That's why in some of the places it says, those who are angry, they are the lowest caste. The krodha, sometimes Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he said to one of his disciples, and his teaching was very unique, The Sri Ramakrishna's teaching, let me tell the story over here. Two of his disciples, they by nature they were too different, and same thing happened, but Sri Ramakrishna's advices was completely different. That's the uniqueness. One young boy who was from a very rich and cultured family, he was the son of the Jamindar of Dakshineshwar. He was coming from Calcutta in a boat, and then in the same boat, some people, they were criticizing Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. This young boy, who used to love Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, used to consider himself as his disciple, he was feeling very sad. So he came and he was reporting to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, today when I was coming, the people on the boat, the co-passengers, they were criticizing you. Sri Ramakrishna said, what did you? You did. What can I do? So I was sitting quiet over there. I was feeling very sad. Sri Ramakrishna said to him, as because he was like that, the very quiet type of person, Sri Ramakrishna said, if someone is criticizing your guru, you are supposed to cut his head. And could you not say something in my favor to them? That you must grow the manliness, the courage to tell the truth, because you know me. And they, without knowing me, they're criticizing. People, very peculiarly, if you notice, most of the people are very good in criticizing others. Why? Again, the karma phala. Again, they are unknowingly, they are going to, if you use the word, towards the hell, towards the suffering. Unknowingly, they will be doing that, because the criticism is the most heinous sin. Now, Sri Ramakrishna told him this, hey, why you should talk about me? You could protest at least. Now, another person was coming. He was a wrestler, a very strong, tall, big figure. He was coming in the same type of boat, and another day, and some people in the same boat, they were criticizing Sri Ramakrishna. This young boy, he was almost 18 or 20, and has a very strong physique and strong, he was a very powerful wrestler. He said, hey, you are criticizing my guru? I will put you all to death. And he started moving the boat. It was a big boat, so many people. All started crying. They said, no, either you should say sorry, and you should, otherwise I will put this boat under water and all I will kill you. Somehow the boatman came and cried, and anyway, he was specified, he came. He didn't report. Another person who was accompanying him, he came and told Sri Ramakrishna, you know, sir, what happened? Today, this Niranjan, he was also the direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. If you see his picture, you will understand. Very strong and all the time standing like this. He is a heroic type of person. And Niranjan, he was almost putting to death so many people. And what happened? They were criticizing you, and then he became angry. You know what Sri Ramakrishna said to this boy? He never appreciated or patted him. He said, hey, they were criticizing me, and that too one or two person. Why you were putting all people into trouble? And moreover, the boatman is a poor man. And suppose you truly, if you were damaging the boat, and what would have happened to him? Then he said, Krodha, the anger, is very bad. You should not have the anger. Why? For this boy, the first boy, who became Yogananda afterwards, then this Yogananda was very tame, calm. He was trying to increase his personality. And another one, the Niranjanananda, he was already like that, so he was reducing that power in that way. So, a true guru should always handle the disciples according to their characteristics. Here we are discussing how to overcome the kama and krodha. It says, kamadi dosha drishtadya, adya, in the beginning itself, whenever you are feeling a desire, then you must analyze this desire, is it good or bad? The most of the desire is going to bind me, and then ultimately I am going to suffer. Kamadi tyaga hetava. Then you should give up that desire. No, it's not enough. I am not going to have this. What am I going to do with all that? Prasiddhya moksha shastreshu. This is the moksha shastra. That means the scripture that teaches us the liberation, spiritual liberation. They say this is the only way. What is that? Understanding and analyzing the defects of the desire, give it up. That will be sufficient. Now, rich people, sometimes it comes, very rich people, every day they are using only one cloth for a day or maybe an hour or two, then throwing up and next a new one, and they will never use the second time that one. Then sometimes some people will say, oh, what a loss, the wastage. No, for economy it is good. If the rich people are not spending money, then how the market will survive? The business goes in that way only. Swami Vivekananda said, if a rich person can afford, why one? He should purchase 2 cars, 3 cars. He can afford. So the money will come back to the market and the market will survive. But it is not for a tyagi. It is not for those who are trying to realize God. For them, no. Why should you waste our money? Rather, that money can be given for a good purpose. Maybe for the education of the poor people. Maybe for drinking water. So many villages even today, when the people are going to purchase the land in the moon, there are places in the earth where the people are not getting even drinking water, pure drinking water. So we can help them. Rich people can help them. So this we have to understand, the hetaba, kamadi dosha drishtadya, adya, in the beginning itself. Before performing you have to analyze, then you have to stop and you have to give up. Then there is no anger. What happens? Tan anisha, sukhi bhava. What is the ultimate result, the goal of a religious life? Sukhi, happy. If I am not happy, then what is the purpose of this life? I have lot of money, I have lot of wealth, I have lot of land. Almost in all countries in the world, I have some property, but I am very unhappy. What is the purpose of all those things? So this we have to understand, and then we can continue. While Prahlada dwelt on the plane of the supreme reality, he maintained the attitude, I am he, I am he. So the knowledge and the devotion can be practiced together. So when you are meditating and then ultimately merging yourself with your self-conscious, and then you can say, I am he. But when he came down to the physical plane, he would look on himself as a servant of God. Then the devotion, servant of God. The Brahma you cannot explain, but you can feel. In the Moses, the God said to Moses, that is in the Exodus 3 and the 14. This is the Jewish people, they always quote this. They say, the God said to Moses, I am that I am. Some books are also there. I am that I am. That means in the Kathopanishad we find astiti brubato. Asti, it is there, it is there, it is there. That's the feeling. The same way when we are understanding, then we'll say, I am that. In the Upanishads also says, the Mahavakya, Aham Brahmasmi, I am that Brahman. Tat Tvam Asi, you are also that. Then how they will prove that there is a Jahal Ajahal Lakshana? The Vedanta, they never accept the words of anyone. They will be always analyzing and they will give you the reply. So that is a big discussion. Jahal Ajahal Lakshana. Those who are interested, you can search this and you can read, understand that. So there in the Lakshana, you can apply that and find that that's true. I am nothing but the consciousness. I am nothing but God. Then how come I have come down so much? The son of a king, when lost, he behaves like a beggar. He behaves like an ordinary person. Then suddenly somebody noticed, oh, this is our lost prince. You'll take back to the palace. Then slowly his confidence comes back. I am the monarch of whatever I survey. I am the king. And that is called Vedanta. And the same thing, through the path of duality, I am the servant of God. But at the same time, slowly he goes up and feels, I am that. Hanumana, he is giving the example of the Prahlada. Prahlada was a great devotee. At the same time, he was a man of knowledge. Hanumana, a great devotee, a great yogi, but at the same time, a man of knowledge. Hanumana also sometimes said, I am he, and sometimes I am the servant of God, and sometimes I am the part of God. And the beautiful way Hanumana mentioned that. Why should a man cherish love of God in his heart? How else will he live? How else will he spend his days? The love of God is necessary for a person as long as he is thinking I. The moment you think that is I, those who are trying to follow the path of knowledge, they should understand you are attending the office, you are completing the market, the goal, and as I heard, then you have to complete this much, all these things you are doing at the same time thinking, I am Brahman. No, that is not the time for you to practice. You have to give up everything then. And you have to be completely alone. And you have to dedicate your mind in such a way that you don't want anything of this world. Name, fame, nothing. Then it is okay. Otherwise, it is hypocrisy. You are understanding, reading, appreciating, it is okay. But practicing the path, practicing knowledge, now you should be truthful to yourself. Can I truly practice this? No, I cannot. So it is better to practice the duality. And in the duality also, when we reach to the ultimate, then he thinks that I am he. Thank you, friends. We'll stop over here, and in the next Wednesday, we'll continue from here. So let us chant the Shanti mantra 3 times, and we conclude. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.